You know, it's the return to the world of Alien when you hear those squelchy, squirchy, moist sound effects. But Alien Romulus, the seventh of the franchise, takes us back to the timeline of the original movie and sequel as a band of young space colonists happen to come across a decommissioned space station called the Romulus with a very unwelcome presence on board. So joining us live now is the writer and director of the film, Fede Alvarez. Fede, thank you so much for joining us. This is such a pleasure. Whoa, we're getting some feedback, kind of like we're on a decommissioned space station right now. Hello. Okay. Thanks for joining us. So this film, you decided to make it a standalone film so that people watching it don't have to watch the previous ones, and you know, it wouldn't have to fit into the exact storyline of the other franchises. Why did you want to do that for this film?
I mean, I think it's a 45-year-old franchise, right? And I think there's a whole new generation that might not have seen the other ones, so catch some of the last ones, but I feel like it was a good time to kind of reset the clock a little bit and kind of start again. We don't really, it's not like a new timeline. It is part of the original timeline. So for the fans, the old fans like me, it connects with all the other movies in beautiful ways. But if you haven't seen any of them, it's a perfect entry point for the younger audience. Right?
And I understand that you brought back the designer of the original creature to help you with the face huggers, as you call them in this film, and the creatures in this. Are they scarier than the original? What's new and what's different about the monsters that we can see in this film?
The technology is better now in certain aspects. So when it comes to create these creatures, to actually create them, we really avoid using computers as much as we could in the movie. And so most of the time, everything you see is real. Like the creatures are animatronics, we had to bring all the puppeteers that worked in the original, and James Cameron, which is the second one from 1986. To work with us. So it was really incredible to see that coming alive. It's rare these days to be on a movie set and look around and not see, like in ours, you couldn't see any green screen. There was nothing that was supposed to be CG. Everything was real, everything was there, and that's the way we want to do it. That's kind of the legacy of this movie, is that everything was really done practically.
And, you know, when you talk about this genre, some people think, okay, it's science fiction, it's horror, but you're known to direct great horror films, Evil Dead. Why did you want to make it about horror? Because is there that fine line between, okay, this is a spacey science fiction thing with aliens, or is this truly frightening? Why do you think your version of this film makes it a horror film?
No, because the whole point was to try to take it back to its pure form. And the first movie, if you read the stories about, you know, when the movie comes out in 1979, there was nothing like it. It was the most terrifying experience people had in theaters. It was a total shock. No one saw coming the story. And the life cycle of the creature, which for the ones that remember, obviously impregnates a human being and comes out of his chest, was something that people have never seen before. So everybody went crazy about it. But it was a pure horror movie, very simple. You know, one after the other die, and you hope that one's going to survive. And Sigourney Weaver that plays the character of Ripley, is the only one that does it. So it was a total shock at the time. And the kind of movie, like I said, moving to more science fiction territory and got away from horror for a while. And now, for me, it was fun to take it back to that purity of the first film.
Now, something different that you've done with this film is you've enlisted a whole lot younger of a cast to come together, and you've really delved into their relationships, almost making them like a family, right? So what was your reason behind exploring that dynamic with this young group of colonists that, you know, enter this abandoned spaceship?
Well, in some of the other movies, and sometimes in this type of science fiction horror movie, characters are more like colleagues, and it's kind of a bit more of a, every man for himself. And here I was more interested in seeing a group of close friends, where I would say is the deepest from a dramatic standpoint. It's the most intense of all these movies, because there's true relationships among the characters. So when someone's gonna die, it's not just someone. It might be your brother or your cousin or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. So it makes the whole story way more intense and scarier, which is the whole point, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're way more invested if you care about the people and you feel that connection to them. And I want to ask you, Fede, like, what is your greatest fear? What do you think would be the worst way to die for yourself?
Well, I think it's all these things in the movie, right?
Yeah, aliens would be the thing?
Exactly. And the face hugger, I think if I have to choose, I choose the xenomorph. You'll beg for a quick death. But the the face hugger gets you. You put something inside you. It eventually will grow out of you. Not a good way to die.
There's pseudo-sexual references for sure with the mouth and things going in and out of the body. Okay, well.
Yeah, it's like this. It's the H.I. Giger was this the surrealist that created the creature for the original movie, and it was all based on this kind of psychosexual imagery that. You look at it twice and you go, what's going on there? That's how this movie works. You have the horror, but there's another layer that's working in the back of your head that you're working in all these mysterious ways. And that's why it's so effective and so unique as well.
For sure. Okay, well, I can't wait for people to see Alien Romulus out in theaters August the 16th. Fede Alvarez, great to meet you. Welcome to Toronto.
Nice to
have fun while you're here.
Thank you.
And I'm sure people are going to be very excited to watch this film. Take care. Nice to meet you.